Mid news, you might not need this.
Israel launches missiles at Lebanon, striking a car in Sidon. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Now this is a tragedy. Hopefully there was no one hurt in said fire, but I'll leave more information in the description below. Now, the strikes with Israel and Lebanon have become more frequent after Israel struck and killed a Hezbollah person and a Lebanon leader. Hezbollah leader as well. And now this has just become more of a it has become a tragedy in the Middle East. There's going to be, people say there's going to be more war fighting. Hopefully not, but let's find out. Let me know what you think in the description below. In this 11th month of war, Israel has launched missiles at Hezbollah. And at some point, the US, Israel, and Lebanon, and basically whoever else is supposed to sit down and talk about ceasefires and get over this dispute. The Middle East is in roar right now, and honestly, we're just seeing the peak or the tip of that iceberg being shattered from all of this fighting. But here's a clip, and check out that clip right there.
The Mideast once again is on edge after a new round of fighting between Israel and Hezbollah. Israel says it struck thousands of Hezbollah rocket launchers inside South Lebanon in what it calls an act of self-defense. It says that the Lebanese militant group was planning to launch thousands of rockets into Israel early Sunday when it struck. Despite these Israeli airstrikes, Hezbollah did manage to fire over 200 rockets into Israel, as well as about 20 drones. There were 3 deaths reported inside Lebanon. No deaths on the Israeli side, but there is some damage. The fighting appears to have calmed down for the time being, but all sides remain on high alert. Israel and Hezbollah have been exchanging fire almost every day since Israel's war against Hamas erupted last October. Hezbollah says it will continue its attacks until there's a ceasefire. Despite this latest fighting, international mediators, including the US, Qatar, and Egypt, are once again expected to meet with Israeli officials in Cairo in another attempt to forge a ceasefire.
So, as you just seen, they're gonna sit down for talks. Hopefully, the damage has subsided. The fighting has stopped for the moment. But what is next? It's hard to see. Russia has launched missiles over 15 regions over the Ukraine. And honestly, the missile defense system has stopped said missiles, and only 3 people have been dead. Now, a lot of people in Kyiv have seek shelter underneath in the subway stations. There's pets. There's tons of people out there. Here's a clip from the BBC.
Missiles headed to a number of regions across Ukraine, including the western region of Lviv, in the south of the city of Odessa, in the north, as well as the capital Kyiv as well. In the early hours today, the Ukrainian Air Force warned its citizens, saying that Russian bombers, more than a dozen of Russian bombers that could carry cruise missiles, were in the air. And already at that time we were getting reports about Shahed drones, several dozens of drones heading towards different regions. And shortly after, we heard explosions in the skies over Kiev, and it sounded like it was air defense systems engaging those drones and missiles.
Now, as you've seen that clip, it's really bad. It's crazy to see that all these people are sheltering. They're looking for they're like waiting for the shooting to stop. Honestly, it's terrifying, and no one should be living this way. I want Russia and Ukraine to just chill the fuck out. We got other situations to handle, but let me know what you think about this. Palestinian people are being evicted and pushed into other already crowded said other areas in Palestine, touching the Gaza Strip, touching the beaches. They're sleeping on garbage. People are just surrounded in many areas, digging holes, trying to survive. They're all being pushed and crowded into these tight niche areas. This is stuff that your parents will talk about and say some people don't have homes or houses over their heads or food or stuff in their stomach. These are situations, they be talking about Africa. It's happening right now in Palestine, and honestly, it is pretty sad. It's not fair to your homes get destroyed and you get displaced. If you want to watch the full clip, please click the description below. Hezbollah and Israel have exchanged fire in major escalations. Now, Hezbollah, Sunday, operations have accomplished some type of talks with Israel. Both sides have said they don't want to escalate, and they're not trying to escalate. I think Hezbollah wanted their hit back for one of their generals dying, and Israel was like, hey, then that was an accident. We didn't mean to target you. We trying to just fight these guys. But Hezbollah's like, hey, that's fine. We don't care. You killed one of our generals, and it's been more of an argument and debate. They've had heavy fire, but at this point, it seems that there's not going to be an escalation. They're trying to have peace talks and deal with this, and then move forward, and then maybe Israel dealing with peace and talking with Hamas, and hopefully having a ceasefire. This is something that has to happen at some point, but these are conversations and situations building up. Hopefully we get some good news. So I forgot to mention I had a clip of BBC, but if you want to watch the full one, description below. IDF has rescued a 52-year-old man from the Gaza Strip. He was a hostage. They've rescued this said man, and honestly, okay, that's fine. This war with Israel and Palestine and Hamas has just been going on, right? Israel's beef is with Hamas, the radical group, and their beef has been taken to the extreme. Now, yes, they've rescued some people, and they said there's been hostages on both sides. All right, fine, there has. But why in the world are y'all still doing this? When the year ends and next year comes, is this still going to be an issue? Hopefully not. Now, people's families, people are suffering and paying the price for it. When does this stop? And when do we stop having hostages, rescues? When does this start making sense? Let me know in the comments below. This is a clip from Twitter. Over 100 missiles allegedly and suicide drones being launched at Israel. Now, Israel's missile defense system has kicked up, and I think after this, it may have been Israel or these were launched at Hezbollah, showing what the report does, but that's what it says in the video description. But for the most part, honestly, if Israel, Hezbollah, and Hamas keep going, their people are going to suffer. And honestly, it gets worse and worse only for the people and soldiers and the people of those families. So honestly, this is wild to me. The missile defense system works, but this is crazy. Into Friday, so you're watching this Thursday. Well, technically Friday night, because I've been kind of posting it wrong. I've been posting these on every Friday at 12 o'clock, but that leads into Sunday. I'm off with that time. So basically, hope to expect these to come out every Friday night, at 12 o'clock on, kind of hitting that Friday night. And hopefully, yeah, this happens. But let me wrap this up by saying all of the destruction, the chaos, the fighting, the wars, the guns. Look, I'm not a guy that cares about these things. Understand one thing. People do need to defend themselves. People do need to protect their families, their friends. And nobody wants to just be walking one day and be gone like that from a missile. It's not fair. And yes, life isn't fair, but we can make it fair. We just choose not to. We choose to make it more difficult on the people around us just because we have giant egos. You can agree to disagree to this all you want. I do see a problem, and hopefully you see it as well. For watching this Israel, Ukraine, Russia update with Hezbollah, because there's been a lot of fighting. I hope you have a good Friday and enjoy the weekend and prepare for the news that Saturday night. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified, and prepare to watch this playlist of mid-news. Remember, this is news you might not need. This is news that might not affect your life, or this is news that does affect you. You just don't know how it affects you. Do your own research, personally. Thank you guys for coming, and I appreciate you. Have a spectacular, damn good one. And if you know, you know. Peace.
Mid news. You might not need this.